Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we talk to authors from all over the world. Our next guest she does so many things. She's an author, a Bible teacher, a speaker. We're going to find out a little more about her in about 2 seconds here. Welcome, Karen Jurgens. There she is. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Tell our viewers where you are.
I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so I'm in the northern part of Dallas.
Nice. I've been there many, many times, but only at the airport. So,
oh, yeah.
now, you've got quite a few books out. I just want to start by talking about your latest book, Perfect Fit. I have the cover here on the screen. Tell us about it, Karen.
Well, it's a book about Carly Livingston, who is going into her senior year of college. And she's going to actually a real place, which is in Oxford, Ohio. It's called Miami University. And she has a boyfriend that she thinks she's going to marry, and her future is all set. But her parents are going through a messy divorce, and her mother is trying to counsel her and caution her so that she doesn't end up like her, you heard the mother in divorce court. So Carly does decide to listen to her mother, and she puts her relationship with Lance on hold and bases that year that she has put the year on hold on a Bible verse, which has to do with not being unequally yoked. So that's how the story unfolds. That's the premise, and then the story unfolds from there.
It's quite a twist that a kid would listen to their parents. I appreciate that very much. So,
yeah, well, she doesn't want to at first. Yeah. She really fights hard against it because everybody criticizes her and says, why are you listening to your parents? That's so old-fashioned. Why are you listening to somebody who's quoting Bible verses? Mm-hmm. And she balks at first. But she sees so much in her parents' lives that is so hurtful and is so real that she decides, well, maybe I better put this to the test and just make sure that I'm making the right decision. Yeah. So, she's trying.
How would you describe your genre?
It is contemporary Christian fiction, and it's actually written to be geared towards young adults. So I set it up with my style. Stylistically, I use a lot of literary techniques that appeal to the younger audience. And I also have a lot of social issues in there. It is a clean Christian read, of course, but I do have social issues that we face in our present day as well. So I do touch on things, but it is still considered a Christian book.
Yeah. Well, these things do come up in our real lives, and I appreciate that people want to discuss them and put them out there for discussion. You have 2 grown daughters, is that right?
Yes. I have 2 grown daughters, and originally, when I used to be a high school teacher, and I loved my students so much, and I saw a lot of things they were doing that they really needed guidance in their lives, and of course as a teacher I wasn't allowed to give them any. But for my own daughters, instead of preaching to them or telling them you should do this or that, I've always found that young people will listen to stories. They won't listen necessarily to anything that you want to tell them directly, but they will listen to a story. So that's how I came up with this idea to write this particular story, because it wasn't just for my own family, but it was also for young people who are in high school and going to college, and those can be the most confusing, most challenging years of your life, because you're making life decisions that will take you in a certain direction, and it can be the wrong direction. And there's a whole lot out there to influence us the wrong way. So that's why I wanted to bring this one Bible verse in about being equally yoked, because a lot of people don't understand that. They don't even understand what that whole concept means, with the oxen being yoked together and plowing in the field, and because we don't have that in our day and age. We have tractors, we don't have animals that plow the fields. So it's an interesting concept, but it's very applicable to our lives.
Now, I'm thinking I love to give away books. I'm always trying to say, well, who will I give this book to? I think I'm going to get this book to some young mothers who have kids that are 8 or 9 years old, and they're going to be facing this because as kids grow, they want to go their own way and struggle in their own direction. I also want to give this book to some young kids who are 14, 15, 16 years old. I think it'd be inspirational for all of them. And I like the idea of seeing it through a story.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Now, oh, by the way, I just noticed I got in my collection here a couple more books by you. Here's one, Love Knots. Tell us about Love Knots.
Well, actually, I'm a contributor to that book. I was the editor also for it because I also do editing. And that book is actually, I think now there are several more that have come out since that first one. I was a contributor in that one, and these are all devotionals. So there was a group of about 10 or 12 authors, and they all contributed some kind of devotional to it. And this was to encourage family and friends, and just basically to encourage and uplift people.
Nice. And then here is one more I found out on the Amazon. It is Heart Wings devotional. Tell us about that one.
Right, the Heart Wings devotional. Heart Wings was an online ministry. It no longer is online, but it was online for years. And we had thousands of members. And some of us were regular writers, and we would contribute devotions. And we had devotions, I guess, 5 days a week for years. And what they did was take some of those and put them together into a book and sell that to benefit the ministry. So I was also a contributor for that. And then I also wrote a Bible study for Heart Wings, and that's on my website.
Nice.
And that's about the fruit of the Spirit. So I have that also that I've contributed. So that was a really interesting project that I did. It was a year-long project. So that turned out into hopefully a Bible study that I'm going to be putting together and also selling on Amazon.
And by the way, we do have the website on the screen. Best website ever, name, Jurgens.com, KarenJurgens.com. And it's simple to remember. And also we have your Instagram up there, Karen_Jurgens. Karen, we're about out of time, but I just want to give you a few moments to say whatever you want to our viewers or to the world.
Well, I do want to say that everything that I have on my website, including my books, are to encourage people, especially when they're going through trials. And I base my life verse on James chapter 1, verses 2 to 4, which is about going through trials and how God helps us through those and gives us patience and gives us strength. So I think for me, I really find my purpose in that, in helping people and encouraging them. And then as far as like new writers, people that are trying to get published, my advice to them would be find yourself a good critique group and get involved, and read all the books you can on writing. And one that's especially good is Saul Steen's book. It's called Stein on Writing. And that's excellent. And as a fiction writer, it's real important to learn how to do point of view well, and character development and plot development. And I think the thing to do is, my advice that I always like to give is, if you write 1 page a day, by the end of the year, you'll have 365 pages.
Yep.
Even if you don't have time to write, a page a day will do it. So
yeah, I've not thought about that, but there you've got a book.
A good rule of thumb, yeah.
Very good. Wow, I'm inspired by you in many ways, Karen, so thank you. I have not finished my book, so you gave me some good ideas. First, I'm going to get the book you recommended. First, I'm going to get your book. I'm going to get, I never buy 1 copy of a book. I buy 5 or 10 copies. I recommend everybody does that. You got to give people gifts all the time anyway. Why not a great book like this? Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I hope you'll come on the show again and again.
Okay, thanks. I sure will.
All righty. And for our guests, stick around. We're going to have another author right after this.